Hey everyone, thatoldnerfguy here. Today, the Rhinoceros Blaster. Welcome today. This Rhinoceros Blaster. Technically it's a follow-up to my Lizzy Blaster review, but when the Lizzy was basically a complete rip-off of Ehdrien's Gecko, I will see this one more like another version or inspired by it, the same way as the Gecko from Ehdrien was inspired by the Lizzy gun from Cyberpunk. This one is inspired by the Gecko. So let's open it and check it out. The Rhinoceros Blaster. Obviously deeply inspired by the Gecko. The pack already ripped off. Superb. Those are not worker, those are cheap worker clone. A pair of goggles. Really? Yeah, this thing says 14 plus, so that is a good sign for FPS. That means it should, in theory, shoot further. Ooh. And there is, I guess, instruction in Chinese. Yes. Perfect. Let's put that aside. So in that box, you have the Rhinoceros BJ.02 Blaster, 20 half-length, which are made to look like worker. They got pretty soft heads, like pretty rubbery, but very, very cheap foam. I'm gonna keep them for a Chinese half-dart all-compare test for later on. A pair of goggles. The magazine, which was inserted in the blaster. So this Rhinoceros Blaster, have to say, it feels tight and it feels heavy. It must have some metal internal. Yeah, there is a barrel. It is recessed down there, but there is a thick aluminum barrel down there. Magazine, which look pretty much like an angle Talon mag. I don't have one at hand right now, but we're gonna have to check that a little later. Let me just put a few through the chronograph just to try it. I'm gonna use what I have at hand. So this Rhinoceros Blaster. Ooh, and I have to say this prime is sublime. This is very, very smooth. A little stiff, but it's coming very, very smoothly towards the back. The barrel is very, very thick metal. Should be chamber. 106. 102.6, 105.6, 103.3. I'm going to do a better chronograph test a little later. You see, this thing doesn't look as much as Ehdrien's Gecko as the Lizzy was looking, because they changed the aesthetic on it. They changed some of the thing on it. And this is a more refined product. It feels like they put some work into it. And the fact that this ABS plastic is very rigid helps it a lot. Is the mag... Okay, the mag is not exactly gravity drop. You will need to like give it a little swing so it come out, but it's going in pretty well. And the Picatinny look pretty standard. Do I have something here? Does this thing even fit there? Oh yeah, very tightly. Cool. Meaning it is going to be able to hold other things. Huh. Trigger is firm. Everything is like pretty good on it. Apart from the fact that I don't know how much it is compatible with the Lizzy, but obviously it's based on the Gecko. But for some obvious reason, they changed the look, and yeah, it forces them to refine the blaster and to have, yeah, better product overall. It got less barrel. The barrel is a little less long than, yeah, but still, gonna have to try it out on the target for accuracy. But first, chronograph test with this Rhinoceros blaster. Chrono test for the Rhinoceros blaster. Let's start with worker Gen 3. Now let's try DZ Max. And for last, let's try AF Pro. Weird. I think it got dialed in with the few last shot, because all the last were almost all above 110. Even with that 75, it's reaching an average of 104.4. That is not bad. Well, in the end, this Rhinoceros blaster is pretty solid. I mean, it got a smooth prime, it got power. It's not stellar, but above 100, it's an average of 104.4. There is some possibility, some tight tolerances, and the quality of construction, this is surprising for what is a copy of another blaster. It is obviously deeply inspired by the Gecko, but still they changed some of the thing so it will not be a blatant copy rip-off of it. The magazine, yeah, I said I was gonna try Angle Talon. It is almost catching, like I would have to push it a millimeter more, but I'm pretty sure it is at the right position. Yeah. So maybe either shaving a bit here or shaving the interior inside would make it work. So this one is almost Angle Talon compatible. The accuracy is pretty good. The slam fire is pretty much flawless. The two biggest down point, the first, I already said it, it's too much like a Gecko clone, and the other one is this ambidextrous mag release. Having it on this side, you just prime the blaster, and the magazine, let me show you, and the magazine just end up like that, which prevent you from priming or will break something inside. This is annoying. It happened to me once during the fire test. It happens to me a couple of times while trying it, testing it. But yes, overall this was a good blaster, and for the price I was not expecting that kind of performance. This is somewhat like 20-25% less than what they did with that Lizzy clone, and that Lizzy clone is barely half of this blaster, even if it looks like Ehdrien's Gecko. Don't get fooled, the Lizzy is not Ehdrien's Gecko. This one is a blaster that works on the exact same principle. The problem is this face here, which looked too much like the Gecko. They would have to change it, but for the rest, I hate not to recommend it. While again, I can't really recommend this blaster because of the legitimacy of it. This raised still a little too much ethical question, but I had to show it to you. I think there is enough difference between this and the Gecko not to call it a complete clone and a complete ripoff. And overall, this was a good blaster. What do you know? A good blaster grabbed out of nowhere randomly. Wow, very impressive for what it is. That's it for this video. In the meantime, you can always follow me on Facebook and Instagram at thatoldnerfguy. Please leave a like and comment, subscribe for more content. Don't forget to hit that bell to stay notified for my latest video. This was Dave Fatag. See you next time.